Thank you, Madam Chair, and I'd like to thank my colleague, Ms. Malloy, for allowing me to cut in line because I have to run to do something else. We'll try and arrange for the University of Colorado to lose to the University of Utah or something in exchange. Probably won't be hard. Anyway, wildfire risk today is not a mystery. With advances in modeling, weather forecasting, we can anticipate dangerous wind conditions. We can identify areas of elevated wildfire risk well in advance. In fact, I can pull up a Forest Service map right now on my phone showing Colorado's current wildfire risk. The problem isn't awareness, it's that we haven't managed our forests at the pace required to match that risk. The solution to reduce wildfire risk, manage forests responsibly, and support healthy ecosystems are included in the Fix Our Forest Acts. This is the point of this hearing. Yet it's been over a year since the House passed this bill, and in that time, Colorado has experienced its worst wildfire season since 2020 with more than 200,000 acres burned. That's not an abstract situation for my community. We're facing a growing pine beetle outbreak in Pike National Forest, just west of Colorado Springs. The Front Range cannot afford to wait another year. Failing to manage our forests puts lives, homes, businesses, military installations, and critical utility infrastructures at risk. Again, I want to thank my friend, Mr. Deal, for being here today to highlight the work Colorado Springs Utilities is doing to protect our community. And I have a question, Mr. Deal. As you know, Governor Polis recently announced the creation of the Ponderosa Mountain Pine Beetle Task Force to bring together local, state, and federal partners to address the growing outbreak threatening the Front Range. From your perspective, are these specific provisions in the Fix Our Forest Act that would be particularly helpful, or are there provisions that would be particularly helpful for this task force as it works to combat the pine beetle outbreak?
Yes, Congressman. I think anything that we can do to be able to get ahead of these, basically the trees are dead and they're standing there. So it's a huge fire risk. So the quicker we can get in and get to remove these dead trees and get them out of there so we don't have more ignition sources will help. And there's a lot within this bill that absolutely will help support that initiative.
The Colorado Springs has experienced its share, as you know, of devastating wildfires. The Black Forest fire came within yards of my own home. And our region's been impacted by the Waldo Canyon fire, the Hayman fire. What lessons has Colorado Springs Utilities learned from these wildfire experiences that this committee should consider as we work to improve federal forest management policy?
I think prevention, as people start looking at forest mitigation, whether you use mechanicals, whatever tools you use to thin the forest down, to get it back to the natural state, people can visibly see that. And I think now that they've seen the burn scar of unmanaged forest versus what a true managed forest can look like, I think that's where people are starting to be open to forest, mitigation, and making sure we have that healthy forest is needed. But whenever you look at outside the landscape of Colorado Springs, you see that burn scar, it reminds you every day of what those lessons learned. I know the question came up of forgetting about the LA wildfires. Those individuals will never forget it. Everybody's going to see that for decades to come. And it should be an always reminder we have to be preventative on our forest management.
Yeah. Mr. Deal, thank you for coming in for your testimony today, and thanks for all you do for our community.